I'm trying to get 100 platinum trophies. I have tons of games on my shelf waiting to be platinumed, and in this video, we're platinuming. Released in February of 2024, Pacific Drive is a first-person survival driving game that was developed by Ironwood Studios and published by Kepler Interactive. This is actually the first game Ironwood Studios has ever created, which I must say they did a great job on it for being their first release. And for a short time, the creative director actually considered making the game completely by herself. However, she soon realized that she would need a team to make her idea a reality. Set in 1998, the game takes place in a walled-off portion of the Pacific Northwest called the Olympic Peninsula that was evacuated back in the 80s. Here, we utilize our trusty station wagon to traverse around the area. However, it's less about enjoying the scenery of the countryside and more about trying to make it out alive, as we're not alone out here. To give you some insight on what caused the area to end up like this, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. The year is 1947, and the Olympic Peninsula is discovered to be the perfect staging ground for a promising new technology called limb tech. Not long after, rumors began to spread about the peninsula, talking about utopian creatures, emergency overnight evacuations, and even some unsolved disappearances. This got so out of hand that by 1955, the government introduced the Advanced Resonance Development Agency, or ARDA for short, and had them wall off a section of the peninsula to establish the Olympic Exclusion Zone. This wall not only kept the public out, but it also kept the dangerous anomalies in, and gave the government a secluded area to do research on them in secret. Over the next 30 years, the zone's borders continued to expand to over 3,600 square miles, until ARDA completely abandoned the area in 1987, sealing off all entry points and never disclosing what happened inside. Fast forward to 1998, Jenko jeans are all the rage, and Will Smith's hit song Gettin' Jiggy With It from his debut album Big Willie Style is bumping on the radio.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
This is where our story begins, and we meet our protagonist, the driver, who has set out towards the peninsula with the hope of exploring the zone and uncovering the secrets that lie beyond the walls. With a total of 50 trophies to unlock, we really don't have any time to waste, so let's get cruising. During the initial drive, I'm immediately taken aback by how beautiful the world is, and how the rain hitting off the windshield combined with the music playing over the radio creates such an immersive experience right out the gate. Like, just listen to this and try to tell me it's not a whole vibe. This serenity is short-lived though, because as we approach the zone, the radio turns to static, and upon reaching the wall, we see that the entrance from the road is blocked, forcing us to take a detour down this dirt path in search of another way into the zone. We don't get very far before our car suddenly loses all power and a portal opens up next to us and pulls us inside. That's not good. Oh! Why did that actually scare me? I mean, I guess we got what we asked for, because we wake up somewhere inside the zone with pieces of what used to be our minivan floating all around us. Unfortunately, I don't think deconstruction of the vehicle is covered by AAA, so we head out on our own to find some help. Eventually, we see a light in the distance, and after emerging from the brush, we see that the light is emanating from an abandoned station wagon. And this right here is a true barn find if I've ever seen one. Ooh, I do love a station wagon. Looks like it was a Mercedes station wagon too. Hell yeah. All it needs to be roadworthy again is some TLC, and after tossing on a replacement wheel, we're ready to roll. After hitting the road, we're contacted over the radio by these guys named Francis and Tobias, who are scientists located further inside the zone, and they tell us to head east to find shelter in an auto shop owned by Oppie, the head researcher working in the zone. She is none too pleased that we're here rummaging through all her stuff, but reluctantly she gives us a go-ahead to work on our car here and use the shop as a base of operation until we're able to find our way out of the zone. We then spend the next 20 minutes learning how to repair and replace parts on the car. Oh, launch that shit. And getting familiar with some of the basic tools we're going to need to use while out in the zone. First is a crowbar, which is used to open locked doors and trunk lids, followed by a scrapper, which is used to break down car parts and other components into resources that we can use to craft new parts. We're also given some repair putty, which allows us to repair damaged parts on the vehicle. The final thing we do is install an arc device in the passenger seat, which is the single most important piece of equipment we have in the car. Not only is it our map while exploring inside the zone, it's also the only way we can get back out of the zone, which I'll cover more on when that time comes. Now that the car is in slightly better condition than it was before, and the essentials are loaded up, we use the projector on the wall to plan out our route back into the zone, which gets us our first trophy, the auto shop. Oh, nice. The auto shop. First trophy, let's go. We're headed back into the zone to hunt for resources we need to build a new antenna for the auto shop. In order to escape these walls, we first need to venture further into the zone, which I know sounds counterintuitive, but it'll make sense later, and the only way to reach the innermost part of the zone is with a more powerful antenna. The first resource we need for the antenna is plasma, which can be found inside these generators located around the zone. However, we don't currently have the impact hammer tool that we need for it, and while attempting to craft one, we unintentionally got the trophy troubleshooting when I accidentally kicked the back of our car. Duct tape and fabric. Alright. Wait. Why did I kick my car? Hey! Didn't know I was going to get a trophy for that, but troubleshooting. After crafting the impact hammer, we use it to smash and grab a bunch of plasma before heading towards an old radio tower to snag a broadcast transmitter that we need for the auto shop's antenna. While making our way over to the tower, we had our first run-in with one of the anomalies that roam around the zone. What the hell is that? Abductor. No. Get me in, get in the car, get in the car. And I don't realize it yet, but these guys will soon become my most hated anomaly in all of the zones. Oh, don't abduct my car. Oh, I made it bad. No! Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh my god, no! Where are you taking me? Oh lord, get me away from that mofo. Upon arriving to the tower entrance, we got our next trophy, Nothing Personnel Zone, which has to be a reference to Cold Steel the Hedgehog based on the spelling, and we got it by having a close encounter with this crash test dummy looking anomaly known as a tourist. Oh! What the heck is that for? Kick a tourist, tour bus, or tickling tumbler. I mean, I kind of just ran into him, didn't I? But whatever. From there, we drive up to the tower where we grab the broadcast transmitter that we need and learn about anchor charges. Anchors are these balls of energy scattered throughout the zone that show up as yellow blips on our map, and they're the only thing powerful enough to charge our arc device so we can escape the zone and make it back to the auto shop in one piece. After grabbing an anchor, you're supposed to open the passenger door and toss it into the arc device. However, I didn't know this yet and ended up just dropping it on the ground while getting back in the car, then proceeding to drive off without realizing, which honestly killed me when I watched the footage back.
Don't let me leave, Murph. Don't let me leave, Murph. No!
Lucky for us, there are more than one anchor per zone, and with the second anchor we grabbed, we were able to figure out it's supposed to go into the arc device, only after dropping it on the ground again and trying to fit it in the trunk. While exploring around, there are 3 different types of anchors we can come across, with the energy becoming more and more volatile as we push further into the zone. The first type that we've been collecting are stable anchors, which glow in amber color and are found in the outermost zone. The second type are unstable anchors, which glow red and are found in the middle zone. And the final type are corrupted anchors, which glow pink and are found in the innermost zone. We're nowhere near prepared enough to confront the inner zones, so for now we just worry about grabbing the rest of the stable anchors around the area, which charge the arc device enough for us to open up a gateway that we escape through. Now it's time to haul ass, because the moment the gateway is open, a storm of instability starts closing in around us, which we do not want to get stuck in. The gateway appears as a giant beam of light coming down from the sky, and after driving into it, we're teleported back to the auto shop, which completes our run. After arriving back at the shop, we gain access to the back rooms and find a fabrication station where we can spend the anchor charges we recovered from the zones on blueprints for new tools, upgrades for the car, and improvements for the auto shop. For now, we just use it to build that antenna for Oppie, which gets us the trophy into the wilderness once we set it up on the roof. Hey, into the wilderness. Install the zone scanner above the auto shop. Alright. Nice. Immediately following that, the trophy Investigate the Zone popped while we were messing around with the car. However, based on the description, I think it was just delayed.
Antenna to the route planner. Give it a look after you're done.
What is that? Investigate the zone. Return to the auto shop after scanning 5 anomalies. I think that was a little delayed, but alright. Everything we come across in the zone, whether it be abandoned cars, anomalies, or resources, can be scanned and logged to give us a better understanding of the environment, and going forward, we're going to need to scan pretty much everything we come across for the trophies Arda Record Keeper and Arda Lore Keeper for logging 300 and 600 logbook entries. We'll come back to those later, because right now we have to worry about prepping for our next trek into the zone, and as part of that preparation, we check out what upgrades the fabrication station has to offer, which got us the trophy Patent Pending for fabricating our first item. Oh, nice. Patent Pending. Invent something new after installing the zone scanner. Alright. We then do a multi-point inspection on the car to make sure nothing is too damaged before heading back into the zone again. Our mission this time is to make it to town and pay a visit to this giant anomaly known as the colossal cappy to test a theory that the researcher Tobias has about the car being a remnant. His partner Francis chimes in and explains that remnants are a type of anomaly that can manifest as an array of strange objects such as record players, teapots, or in our case, a station wagon. And once a remnant comes in contact with an individual, that person becomes fixated with that item and is unable to think of anything else until eventually spiraling into madness and disappearing without a trace.
If the madness didn't kill them, then the zone did.
Not to be discouraged by Francis's pep talk about how we're basically driving around in our own casket, we continue on until we find a couple of abductors flying around, which gives us an opportunity to get the trophy Sleight of Hand. All we have to do for this trophy is distract an anomaly with a light source, so we snag a flare out of the trunk and chuck it at the abductors to attract them like moths to a flame. Alright, hold on. Let's see. And... yeah! Yeah! Sleight of hand. For distracting an anomaly. He took my flare. From there, our plan was to grab the remaining anchors in the area and proceed to the next zone to complete the mission. However, when we pulled up to the last anchor and noticed an unidentified anomaly nearby, that plan changed because this was a perfect setup for us to get our first missable trophy, Scientific Pursuit, for scanning an anomaly while the storm is approaching. All we had to do was grab the last anchor to charge our arc device enough to open up a gateway, and then once the storm started approaching, we scanned the anomaly. Gateway is linked. Let me scan this anomaly. Yeah, Scientific Pursuit. Scan an anomaly while the storm is approaching. Alright, now I gotta get the hell out of here. While making our escape, we had a little mishap with our car that got us the trophy Where We're Going, We Don't Need Roads for remaining airborne for 6 seconds. However, I don't think this is how the developers intended us to get it. I'm on the road again. Oh no, that looks like a big ass rock. Get me. Oh god, the tree trunk. Oh god, I'm on the side. Uh-oh. 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 Well, I got another trophy. What is that? Where we're going, where we don't need roads. What is that even for? We wasted enough time struggling to get the car back on its wheels that the storm is entirely closed at this point, which is not ideal with the condition our car is in right now. However, it actually worked out pretty well because it got us the trophy Eye of the Storm for escaping through a gateway after the storm is completely collapsed. Oh god. Let's go. Yeah, the Eye of the Storm. I'm just getting all the trophies right now. What the heck? Now that we're back in the shop again, we used the anchors we just grabbed to unlock some more blueprints from the fabrication station, one of which was for a Liberator tool that we'll need for some future trophies. However, we don't have the proper resources to make it just yet, so for now we upgrade our car with some steel panels to slightly increase our chances of survival before heading back into the zone again. Our goal is to actually make it into town this time so we can test Tobias' theory, and not very far into the first junction, we got our next trophy, Driver's Ed Dropout, after failing to put the car in drive before hitting the gas 20 times. Oh, Driver's Ed Dropout, what's that for? Forget to put the car in drive before hitting the gas 20 times. Alright. After that, we continue on, collecting any supplies and anchors we come across, and while making our way into the next junction, all hell breaks loose. Our car gets flipped, we lost our door, and well, this happened.
What is that, a woodpecker?
Oh shit, I wasn't paying attention! Well, I'll be... I don't know how I survived that. What the... Miraculously, we somehow survived that and were able to make it to the next junction. However, our car has definitely seen better days. I might need to take some time to repair my shit before I go any further, because god damn. So, all those panels that I just made got blown off. We repair the car to the best of our ability before heading towards town. However, without the proper materials, we're stuck riding around with no working headlights and absolutely no doors at all, which shouldn't be a problem, right? Well, as we reach the outskirts of town, we somehow end up on the bottom of a ravine surrounded by clouds of radiation, and without any doors on the car to protect us and not enough materials to make another health kit, there's nothing we can do except sit back in the car and accept our fate. Oh, I died. You'd think this would be the end for us, but surprisingly both ourselves and our car are teleported back to the auto shop. However, now we're missing both of our front wheels somehow, and barely any of our resources made it back with us. I don't know if you heard that, but for some reason our car honks the horn now whenever we close the trunk lid, and we find out this is just one of the many quirks or minor inconveniences that the car can randomly develop over time. The only way to get rid of these quirks is by curing them at the Tinker Station in the auto shop, which leads us to our next trophy, Car Whisperer. Once inside the Tinker Station, we have 8 chances to correctly diagnose the problem, and after getting all 4 parts correct, we can trade in a mechanic's kit to fix the issue. Hey! Car Whisperer. Diagnose and cure a quirk. Hell yeah. I'm definitely going to need to put some work into this car real quick. And work on the car we did. Here's a quick little montage. I think that looks a little bit better. Alright, now that the car's back together, we're ready to head back into town. Again. Let's just be careful with the car, bro. I need to be conscious that my car is not indestructible by any means. It is very, very destructible. And hey, you know what they say, third time's the charm, right? Well, they were right, because we're able to breeze through the first junction and make it to the outskirts of town again without any issue, and we actually found a ghost of our car from the last run with all of our resources still inside. This would have been the perfect opportunity to get the trophy Grave Robber if we had the Liberator tool to remove the parts. However, we'll just have to come back to that trophy later and settle for getting our resources back for now. From there, we finally make it up to the colossal cappy. However, we aren't close enough to get a reading on the car, so obviously the next best option is to launch ourselves into Cappy's core, which gets us the trophy, A Leap of Faith. Hey! Leap of Faith. Successfully test Oppie's theory and return to her auto shop. We find ourselves back at the auto shop again, which confirms Tobias's theory about the car being a remnant. However, this now switches our focus from trying to escape the zone to trying to escape the hold the remnant has on us, because the longer we stay linked, the less likely we are to want to leave. Now that we know what we're up against, the first thing we did was upgrade the auto shop with the matter deconstructor, which is how we got our next trophy. I don't know what I expected. Normally, you put a part in the machine and it gives you resources. However, when you put a resource in the machine, it gives you a trophy. Nice. I don't know what I expected. Deconstruct a resource. I'm guessing it just like destroyed into nothing. After deconstructing a bunch of parts, we finally have enough resources to build a Liberator, which means we can now get the trophy. They weren't using it. The Liberator is a tool that utilizes a small explosive charge to remove parts from vehicles while keeping them somewhat intact, and all we have to do for this trophy is liberate a part from an abandoned car and toss it onto our own car. Oh. They weren't using it. Liberate and equip a part from an abandoned car. Alright, I like that it stays the same color too. Oh yeah. We then proceeded to liberate the remaining parts from the green car and improved our ride a bit more with a side storage system and some off-road tires before heading back into the zone again. This run really isn't important as it was just an expedition or a challenge run that has nothing to do with the story. However, it did get us enough anchors to unlock the detail station for the auto shop. The detail station allows us to finally customize the car and is needed to get the trophy. Oh man, this is a mouthful. Personal methods of creative expression are highly encouraged. We started by adding some new accessories to the car like a steering wheel and a shift knob before moving on to paint, which is easily the best part. Right now it's looking like the Joker car, but I promise it's not gonna be. I'm the Joker, baby.
I'm the Joker, baby.
Okay. Oh! I wasn't done yet, but alright. Personal methods of creativity are of creative expression are highly encouraged. Fully decorate your car by equipping one of each kind of cosmetic item and applying a paint or decal on You get the point. I can't read, but yes. Basically paint the car. Alright. Well, I'm not done yet, so... After painting the rest of the car, the Pimpmobile is now ready to hit the zone, and if you don't like the color scheme, don't worry, because this won't be the last time we repaint the car. Anyway, we make our way back into the zone again. However, our current mission objective is to just take another drive, so we explore a section of the zone we haven't been to yet, and ended up getting the trophy E2 for getting hit by our own car. Do it now, hit me! Yeah! E2. Get hit hard by your car. Alright. Nope! Wrong door. No, 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 no. Ooh. That could have been really bad. Alright. Then while roaming around, Francis chimes in again, informing us that when we ramped our car through Cappy, a strange signal was picked up coming from the deep zone. We don't know it yet, but this signal is the key to breaking our bond with the remnant. However, before we can get to the deep zone, we need to gain access to the mid zone first. In the next junction over, there were 3 stabilizers we had to link in order to stabilize the mid zone enough so we can safely enter it, and after linking up the last one, it opens up a gateway, signaling it's time for us to leave. While making our escape, we got a bit turned around. However, we were able to make it through the gateway, which not only got us the trophy stabilizing the route, but we also grabbed enough anchors to get the trophy juiced up as well. Alright, let's get it. Hey, stabilizing the route. Activate the zone stabilizers in the outer zone and escape back to the auto shop. And juiced up. Complete a run with at least 2 junctions and with twice the anchor charge. Hell yeah. The first thing we did was spend those anchors at the fabrication station to get a basketball hoop for the auto shop, and after looking like Shaq trying to make a free throw, we ended up getting the trophy Arda Record Keeper when we realized we hadn't scanned Oppie's jukebox yet. Jump shot. Oh. Alright. Hey, nice. Arda Record Keeper. Discover 300 logbook entries. Don't mind if I do. We also used some of those anchors to unlock and install jump jacks in our car, which we'll need for our next expedition into the zone. We're not heading to the mid-zone just yet though. First we're going on a little trophy run with the goal of getting the trophies running on empty for completing 2 junctions with only a quarter tank of gas, and fly homeward for escaping through a gateway while airborne, which is where those jump jacks will come into play. It was a fairly uneventful run, except for the inevitable run-in with an abductor. Yeah, how do you like it? How do you like getting dragged around, bitch? 2 can play that game. You actually took me closer to where I needed to go, so thank you for the lift. Bitch. And after dealing with that, we're able to muscle our way through both junctions with what little gas we had, and jump through the gateway to get ourselves 2 more trophies. Let's get it! Jump jacks, engage! 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 Wait, did it count it? Yeah, it counted it! And running on empty for completing the run with 2 junctions and having less than 25% of a tank. Hell yeah. I didn't get much supplies, but I got 2 trophies, so I'm happy about that. Once we're back in the shop, we perform the necessary repairs and toss our external fuel tank back on the car before heading back towards the mid-zone. The first junction we arrive at has this shocking speed junction condition, meaning that our car gets a boost of speed if it happens to get electrocuted. Oh, my car! No! 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 Oh my gosh, I can just see the line of destruction. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter if we're inside the car or not. Thank you. Whoa! No, not again! Uh-oh. Whoa. Anyway, we realized that we can actually use this shocking speed to our advantage to get the trophy Great Scott for going 88 miles per hour. And yes, this is another Back to the Future reference. Alright. Launch me. Yeah! Great Scott. And we even did it with a busted engine too. After that, we decided to pay Ida a visit to see what goods she has to offer. Ida is a merchant that randomly pops up around the zone who trades items and upgrades in exchange for scraps. Sometimes it's crap, but other times, like right now, she has upgrades that we don't even have the blueprints for yet. We make the trade for a backup battery and an extra large roof rack before making our way towards the next junction, and along the way we learn that this shocking speed might be more harmful than it is helpful. Zap me ahead, boys, let's go. Yeah. Oh no, oh no. Recover, recover. Yeah, recovered. Keep going.
A few moments later.
Oh, this might not be a great idea, but you know, I'm gonna send it. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Alright, that could have been worse, we're good. Oh, oh, no, no, no. That was not good. Whoops. Alright. I'm gonna... No! Stop. Okay, now this is just getting ridiculous. Okay, so maybe using those speed boosts was a mistake. However, what wasn't a mistake was installing that roof rack, because while stopped for repairs, we put it to good use and got the trophy pack rat after using it to store all of our junked parts. Alright. Oh! Hell yeah. Load enough items into your car to fill 150 inventory grid slots. Nice. Alright. From there, we continue on until we make it to the junction where we can finally cross over into the mid-zone. Now that we're here, we make it towards the dividing wall where we find an opening that takes us into the interior of the wall. Once inside, we see that it's filled to the brim with hundreds, if not thousands of tourists that we have to traverse around before being spit out on the other side of the wall, meaning we've now officially made it into the mid-zone. We're then contacted by Francis and Tobias asking if we can extend the signal from the garage to the mid-zone by activating another stabilizer, and after doing so, it opens up a gateway for us.
Better get going. Here it comes.
This gateway opened up in the worst possible spot, causing us to get stuck in the storm and take constant damage the entire way. This alone already makes it the most stressful escape we've had yet, but to make matters even worse, our battery dies on us right as the gateway comes into view, which just makes me wanna... We don't have time for that right now because our health is dropping every second we waste out here, and we're faced with the decision to accept our fate like before or fight to survive, and this time we chose the latter. Open the trunk! God, get the food, get the food, get the food! Go to the food! Oh my lord, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. No, just use it! Oh my god, this is pissing me off. This is pissing me off, use... No, I don't want the thing, I want to use my health... Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, let's go, oh my god, oh my god. Just take a breath. No! Equipped it! God damn! Equipped it! Motherfucker! Equipped it! Let's go! Get in the car, let's go! Now that the car is charged back up, we're able to finish our escape, which gets us the trophy, the mid-zone crossing, after making it through the gateway. I don't have any headlights. My hood fell off. I lost my side panel. I think all my armored shit is done for, but we're not dying. We're not dying today. Oh my lord. The mid-zone crossing. That was stressful. After that whole experience, our car is in desperate need of repairs, and the first thing we worked on was the engine, which got us the trophy Certified Mechanic for fixing the same component 6 separate times. Yeah, Certified Mechanic. Fix 6 status effects on the same car component. Hell yeah. Afterwards, we break into the bathroom of the auto shop and gain access to Oppie's secret lab that we found hiding behind a false wall. Inside, we find some gadgets for the car, as well as a hard drive that we send over to our buddies Frank and Toby in the mid-zone, which gets us the trophy Hack the Planet. Hey, Hack the Planet. Find Oppie's secret hideaway in the auto shop, and deliver the hard drive. Good shit. The reason they want this hard drive so bad is because it's the only backup of Arda's research from before the zone's closure in 1987, and it likely contains information that's key to getting us separated from the remnant and out of the zone. After that last run, we need to take a minute to de-stress, so we decide to go out on another trophy run, and this time we're going for 3 different trophies. The first trophy we're going for is with the top down for completing 3 junctions without any doors, panels, or bumpers, and seeing how half our parts were destroyed in the storm during our last run, all we had to do was remove the remaining parts on the car and we're ready to go. The other 2 trophies we're going for are no parking for completing 3 junctions without ever putting the car in park, and it would take a miracle for completing 4 junctions without breaking or removing any parts from the car, which shouldn't be too hard considering the only parts left on our car to damage are tires and headlights. Well, I spoke too soon because our first attempt was abandoned when we got a flat tire like 5 minutes after entering the zone, followed by our second attempt that got ruined when an abductor dragged us into a tree and broke our headlight. Why? Where did you even come from, bro? How did you see me? Stop! 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 Thankfully, we had better luck on our third attempt, and were able to make it through all 4 junctions and escape unscathed to get ourselves 3 more trophies. Alright, let's get it. Let's go! Yeah, with the top down. Complete a run with 3 junctions and no panels, doors, or bumpers. No parking. Complete a run with at least 3 junctions without parking the car. And it would take a miracle. Complete a run with at least 4 junctions and without breaking or removing any car parts. Hell yes. With those trophies out of the way, we can finally reinstall the parts back on the car, and after placing on the last panel, we got another trophy, Car Thesis, for replacing all of the car's original parts. Hey, Car thesis. Replace all the car's original parts. Hell yeah. With the car restored back to its former glory, we head out on our next mission, which is to investigate an area inside the mid-zone that Tobias marked for us on our map. On the way there, we decide to go for the trophy renewable power, which we get by charging our battery from below 50% by using only natural energy sources, and this is where the hydro generator and the wind turbine we crafted earlier come into play. To do this, we first need to drain our battery by using our jump jacks to bounce around like a lowrider on hydraulics, which consumes 1 kilowatt of power per use. And then once we get below 25 kilowatts, we just cruise through a few junctions at high speed to utilize the power of the wind, and after about 15 minutes of driving around, our battery gets charged enough to get us the trophy. Hey! Hell yeah, renewable power. Fully charge the battery from under 50%, which it still isn't fully charged, but you know, I'll take it. We continue on to the mid-zone where we're tasked with finding 3 murals scattered around the area that were painted by one of the researchers who used to work out here. Apparently back in the 60s, while researchers were performing some tests with the limb tech, they accidentally sent out a huge surge of energy that caused anyone within a 10-mile radius to have intense hallucinations for 30 seconds, with everyone seeing something different than the other. Most people carried on like normal afterwards without any ill effects, except for one researcher who frantically tried and failed to recreate what she saw during her hallucination through paintings. That is until she found a mysterious can of paint in the woods, which ended up being a remnant just like our car, and with this paint, she was able to complete 3 murals of what she experienced before disappearing without a trace. After locating each of the murals, we scan them and send them back to Tobias and Francis, who are actually able to use them to pinpoint a location in the deep zone that they theorize is where we can go to separate ourselves from the car. Before we can head out there, we'll need to do more planning first, so we head back to the auto shop, which gets us the trophy, the Visions. Hell yeah, let's go. Hey, the Visions. Uncover some of the zone's history in the mid-zone, and then escape back to the auto shop. Nice. While we're here, we change up the livery on our car to look like those glow-in-the-dark stars we all had on the ceilings of our rooms as kids, before heading back into the zone again, this time to try to get the trophy Grave Robber for finding our remnant ghost from a previously failed run and recovering any parts or resources that were left behind. Thankfully, we don't have to travel far to it since it's located only one junction out, and after pulling up to what remains of our remnant, we remove the few resources that were left in the trunk, which gets us the trophy. Ooh, yeah, Grave Robber. Discover your remnant ghost and retrieve any lost items. We were also able to secure the trophy fully outfitted when we realized that we could remove the roof rack from our ghost with the Liberator tool, which once installed, filled up the last open slot on the car, getting us the trophy and doubling our storage capacity for free. See if I can get a free roof rack. No way. No way. Yeah, fully outfitted. Equipped or install something in every possible slot on the car. That's amazing. I did not think that was actually going to work. Hell yeah, free freaking roof rack, bro. With those 2 trophies taken care of, we head back to the auto shop again and set a new course towards the Red Meadow facility located out in the mid-zone. We're headed out here to try to find the ruins of a lab that was performing tests in secret that Arda tried to keep hidden from most of the people in the zone. Like even Oppie, who was the head researcher, didn't know about his existence until now, and she's hoping it'll contain data that can assist with getting us separated from our remnant. At first, the area looks pretty underwhelming, but as we venture deeper, it soon becomes the most stress-inducing junction we've had to deal with so far, as there's multiple abductors roaming around the area. And I know I've mentioned previously how I'm not the biggest fan of them, but this area really made me hate them with a passion, and you'll see why in a second. While searching for an entrance to the lab, we come across this anomaly known as a bunny, which gives us the perfect opportunity to get the trophy Watch Out for Hop-Ons for driving multiple miles with one stuck on our car. There are tons of different types of these bunny anomalies located throughout the zone, most of which cause negative effects if they latch themselves onto the car. However, the one we came across is called a hopped up hare, which is one of the few types that actually helps us and charges the car's battery while it's attached. I figured this would be a pretty easy trophy to get because all we had to do was toss it on our car and drive around for a while with it, but boy was I mistaken because it ended up being the most frustrating trophy in the entire run, as the rabbits easily fall off the car if it takes any sort of damage, and apparently abductors have a thing for them and love to steal them from us, which really started to test my patience.
Father hell.
On top of all that, there are these giant balls of acid bombarding us non-stop from above, which really didn't make things any easier as acid absolutely eats through our armored paneling. Eventually, we find a somewhat safe spot away from the acid to assess the damage to our car, and let me tell you, it's not looking too hot. This one's also full. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, why is everything just. Oh my god, bro. What the happened? Everything's just full of holes. That's full of holes. This is full of holes. Every piece of glass was broken. Like, there's just a bunch of spare tires on the ground. Oh my god, this game is just really good at stressing you out, bro. There's just, oh my god. Anything can happen at any point, at any time, and it is just chaos, bro. What do I need to fix this? No, put that back in. What's going on with this? Sealing kit? For a battery? Are you kidding me? Not even an electrician's kit? A sealing kit? Is everything a sealing kit? I can't make anymore. I don't need more rubber. Jesus Christ. Oh my, get the out of here, bro. Bro, go away. I cannot deal with you right now. On the bright side though, we were able to grab our first bit of unstable energy, which we'll need to unlock more upgrades in the fabrication station back at the auto shop, and we were able to find another hopped up hair to replace the last one that got obliterated by the acid. With the rabbit secured to our car again, we tried just driving around in the open to get the trophy to pop. However, that's not going to work with all this acid and these abductors coming after us. Eventually we pulled off in front of the entrance of the facility, which we thought would be safe from abductors, but it really wasn't. We were finally just fed up with dealing with these damn abductors and moved the car inside the tunnel leading to the facility, which is the only place we're actually safe from them. I'm not driving my car. There's 3 of them, bro. There's 3 of them. Oh my lord. Since driving out in the open isn't an option, we decided to just drive around inside the facility with the rabbits attached to our car, and after about 10 minutes of driving in circles, the trophy finally popped, and I've never been so relieved. Hey, finally. Watch out for hop-ons. That was ridiculous, bro. From there, we make our way deeper into the facility through a secret tunnel that brings us to a giant research station hidden away inside. We drive around the lab and scan any important documents we find to send back to Oppie to review before making our way out the other side and into a new junction. All we had to do here was open a gateway so we can make our escape back to the auto shop, which would have gotten us the trophy, the red metal records. However, we got a little greedy when we saw the chance to get the trophy Just Walk It Off for being electrocuted, acid burned, and physically hurt all within a minute of each other, but all we ended up doing was game ending ourselves by mistake with nothing to show for it. I might die here, but I also might get a trophy. So let's do it. Alright, I'm gonna get, wait, can you zap me? Okay, so I got zapped. Ow. Acid burned. I'm gonna die. This is a bad idea. This is a really bad idea. Please give me the trophy at least. No! Not only did we not get the trophy Just Walk It Off, but since we technically didn't escape through a gateway, we also missed out on getting the trophy Red Metal Records, meaning we're gonna have to come back to this junction again to get it, which I never wanted to have to do. I don't want to do it all over again. I don't want to go back. Oh no. But we gotta do what we gotta do, so after fixing up the car, we wasted no time going back through the junctions to reach the facility again, and made sure to escape through a gateway so we could actually get the Red Metal Records trophy this time around. Alright, we're out of here. Hey, the Red Metal Records. Finally. Return to the shop after recovering data. Arda hid. I should have been able to get that earlier, but you know, I made my decisions. We'll have to come back to the Just Walk It Off trophy later though, because after getting back to the auto shop, we're given our next mission, which is to make it through an old wall in the mid zone, which will take us into the deep zone. However, since it's been long abandoned, we need to make a special kind of shield to protect our car while making the crossing. After getting that crafted, we also used some of that unstable energy we acquired during our last run to unlock a few more upgrades for our car, like some all-terrain tires and a trunk in our trunk for more storage. With the car upgraded, we head out towards that opening in the wall, and along the way we learn that if you're not sure what an anomaly does, don't go running up to it for a closer look, because it's not going to end well. Ah! Yo, he just punched me in the mouth. Is my nose bleeding? God damn. After patching ourselves up, we continued forward and ended up getting the trophy Long Haul for collectively driving over 100 miles in our car. Hey, the Long Haul. Driving exceptional distance. Nice. From there, we finally make it to the outskirts of the wall where we see that the entire area looks like a war zone and is littered with tourists, meaning we're going to have to be super careful where we drive if we want to make it through in one piece. We're told by Oppie that if we want to make it through to the deep zone, we'll first need to equip that limb shield we built earlier and link 5 different crossing points by driving our car through them at high speeds. The shield will protect us while we jumpstart the power grid, which will then allow Tobias and Francis to reroute their power from the mid zone to open up the final gate so we can cross over into the deep zone. The only issue is we're pulling too much power, which ends up overloading their battery farms, so Tobias takes it upon himself to manually override the system and redirect the remaining power to the final gateway, sacrificing himself in the process to ensure that we make it through to the other side.
Francis, I love you forever. I love you forever.
This was not a part of the plan, but we need to continue on with the mission or else Tobias' sacrifice will be in vain. Now that we're here, we snag our first few pieces of corrupted energy before powering on a stabilizer to keep the deep zone open for future ventures, and escaping back through a gateway which gets us the trophy, the Deep Zone Crossing. Alright, we're out. The Deep Zone Crossing. Gain access to the Deep Zone. Nice. Emotions are super heavy after making it back to the auto shop, however all we can do is push forward, which I like to believe is what Tobias would have wanted. Our next mission is to just explore the deep zone some more to chart a path to the well, an area that we need to visit in order to finally separate ourselves from the remnant. But first we put that corrupted and unstable energy we collected to good use by unlocking a few more items in the fabrication station, which gets us the trophy DIY Expert for fabricating half of the items the station has to offer. Hey, DIY Expert. Unlock quite a few things in the fabrication station. Nice. After changing out the paint job on the car to the Cool Buzz and installing a better engine, we take a quick trip to the Deep Zone, gathering some much needed resources and dealing with more abductors along the way. Why is the car in the lake? Who brought the car to the lake? Get the car out of the lake. It's just getting shit on, isn't it? No, not the map. Stop pulling me into the lake! Before heading back out to the auto shop where we see that Oppie has cooked up a new experimental upgrade for us. We install our upgrade on the arc device in our car, which removes the power limiter from it, allowing us to overcharge it so no matter how much energy we're hit with when going through the well to separate ourselves from the remnant, the arc device won't get fried and will still be able to open up a gateway for us to escape through. Well, if we make it through alive, that is. The arc charges we've been collecting throughout the zone don't provide enough power to overclock the device, so before we can head out to the well, we need to visit this anomaly barricade out in the deep zone to charge it up. On our way out to the barricade, we get a chance to redeem ourselves and finally get the Just Walk It Off trophy when we come across the perfect combination of anomalies to get the job done. First, we got electrocuted by some shocked tourists, and then we got acid burned by a burp bunny, and finally we intentionally gave ourselves a concussion with our trunk lid, all within a minute of each other. Smack myself in the head. Hey, just walk it off. Get electrocuted, acid burned, and physically hurt all within a minute. Now get off my car. See you later. We continue towards the old barricade, which was the first wall that was built back in the 60s to try and contain the anomalies and keep them from spreading further into the peninsula. However, as we've seen, that obviously didn't work. After making it to the barricade, Francis tells us that we'll need to use our car to induce a current by passing through multiple crossing points located around the perimeter of the wall, like what we had to do earlier when we broke through into the deep zone. And we need to do this so we can harness the power it creates and store it in the arc device to use when the time comes to separate ourselves from the remnant. After linking all the points and overcharging our arc device, a gateway opens up for us to escape through, which gets us the trophy, the Anomaly Barricade. Let's get out of here. Yeah. The Anomaly Barricade. Overcharge the car's arc device and escape back to the auto shop. Nice. After pulling into the auto shop, Francis sends us a bobblehead of Tobias' favorite cryptid, a Gumbaroo, and we make sure to install it on our dashboard right away to honor Tobias' memory, and so we can get the only other missable trophy in the game along for the ride when we make our final journey towards the well. We upgrade the car one last time and give it a fresh coat of paint before setting a course towards the well, being sure to plan a route with at least 7 junctions so we can also get the trophy streets ahead. Not far into our final trek, we ended up getting the trophy Lumberjack for knocking down 1,000 trees, which we've been grinding out since our very first drive. This should be it right here. Boom! Lumberjack. Knocked down 1,000 trees. Oh god, the bubblegum man got me. Bubblegum bitch. We continue our long drive through the zone, scanning any new anomalies we come across for the Arda Lorekeeper trophy, until we finally reach the area that contains the well and are able to find out what caused this mass hallucination all those years ago. We approach the well and see that it's just a giant red ball of pure energy, and after driving through it, we're teleported to an unknown place full of old television screens displaying the Arda logo, which low-key look like 1,000 eyes staring back at us. We start making our way through the hall of TVs and begin hearing past conversations that played out between Oppie and her husband from way back in the day, prior to him being lost in the disaster that caused the mass hallucination.
There's always more to do.
I know. I'm sorry.
While heading in deeper, Tobias somehow manages to contact us from the beyond, and he uses this time to thank Francis for sticking around in the zone with him for all these years.
Tobias?
I never told you how grateful I was that you stayed behind in the zone with me.
At this point, the well is becoming unstable, and Oppie urges us to get back to the car and get the hell out of here. I think I want to be here. It looks like the back end of a Radio Shack. Oh, hey, my car. The well starts falling apart all around us, so we book it towards the exit, and after making the jump through the gateway, we're able to secure 3 more trophies and safely make it back to the auto shop. Yeah! End of the road. Along for the ride, return from the wells with Tobias' favorite cryptid. And streets ahead. Complete a run with at least 7 junctions. Hell yeah. With us being the first person to be successfully separated from a remnant, Oppie finally has closure and decides now is the time for her to sign off for good and leave the zone after 37 years. She passes the reins off to Francis and encourages him to continue studying what the zone has to offer. Francis reluctantly agrees and gives us the option to either leave now that there's nothing keeping us here, or to stay and assist him with his research, and we obviously choose to stay here because we still got 3 trophies left to get for the platinum. All 3 of these trophies kind of go hand in hand, as we need to unlock 39 more blueprints in the fabrication station for the trophy DIY Master, 18 of which are upgrades specifically for the auto shop, which are needed for the trophy Garage Barrage, and every time we unlock a new item from the station, it gets logged, which counts towards the last 20 of the 600 total log entries we need for the trophy Arda Lorekeeper. I honestly expected to get these trophies by naturally progressing through the game, however that's not the case, because in order to get some of the later upgrades, we need to farm for materials that we were never told about and didn't need to gather for any story related missions, so I really had no clue some of these resources even existed or how to get them. But whatever, moving on. We stock up our car with a bunch of tools and supplies before heading back out into the zone again to source some of the materials we're missing, most of which are located out in the deep zone. However, we also need tons of plastic, which is super abundant, but we just never seem to have enough of. After spending nearly an hour out in the zone collecting resources and anchors, we arrive back to the shop and use them to unlock a few more upgrades, which gives us the first of the 3 remaining trophies, Arda Lorekeeper, for discovering 600 log entries. Hey, Arda Lorekeeper. Discover 600 logbook entries. The last 2 trophies were a little bit more of a pain though, because we ended up having to go in and out of the zone multiple times to collect tons of resources, mainly because one of the upgrades for the auto shop required us to collect 600 marsh eggs, which are these pink things found growing on abandoned cars out in the mid-zone. Finally though, after 5 hours of grinding, we got enough energy and mats to get the final upgrade we need for the last 2 trophies, and I'd like to think I saved the best upgrade for last. This fish tank right here should get me the platinum. DIY Master, and then once we set up the fish tank, Garage Barrage, upgrade the auto shop into its prime, and the platinum. Hell yeah. Hell yes. Now let's look at the... There's not even fish in here. Are there? Oh. Well. Oh, that one's alive. Jade's alive. And after all that, I feel like the best thing we can do is give the car a proper send-off by taking it out for one last drive. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe as it definitely helps me out, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
You might have to hang